reminding otherwise. Okay, good. So I'm just recollecting just with couple of slides to really refresh what exactly the thing really the summary of the previous reading was. Jiva bound by Maya, because we wanted to enjoy separately away from Krishna, that ego, because of that, then the Maya gave a subtle body, right, which really had mind, intelligence, and then the false ego, and then after that, then she also gave a gross body, right? So that is the Sula Sarira, and either air, fire, water. Air. So this is our situation, all right? So now, what is the way that we can really get out of the Maya? That is liberation. This liberation can be only by Vaishnava and Krishna. So we really covered this one. According to the karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to upper planetary systems like heavens, and some are going down into the lower planetary systems, hell. And out of millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. Because remember, we can never go straight away to Krishna. You ask Krishna, but he will send you a guru only. He is not going to really come to you and then saying, all right, you are with me. No, because we have to go through the process of cleansing ourselves so that we will be qualified and eligible to be with Krishna. So because of that, Krishna arranges a guru. This is very important. So then by the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotion service. So what was the creeper that I was talking about was the bhakti. That eventually that bhakti sprouts and becomes pure and pure and pure as the anarthas go. So we'll get to that now. So now there are 4 kinds of anarthas. That is, what is anarthas? Unwanted things. Okay, so these are the 4 kinds of anarthas that a jiva bound with Maya develops. So unwanted things, what are the unwanted things? What are they? Swarupa Brahma. It's not the Brahma. This is Brahma. So illusion about our real identity. What is the illusion about our identity? We are thinking that I am a man, I am a woman, I am an American, I am a Hindu, I am a Christian. So this is my body. So we identify ourselves, who are actually originally the soul, to our body. It is an illusion. So our original nature is Siddha, Siddh. So we are Chittanu. We are actually part and parcel of Krishna. So that particular feeling is not there. We don't feel that we are actually soul. We identify ourselves with the body. Okay, so that is one illusion. Swarupa Brahma. Then Asat Trishna, thirst for material enjoyment. People are really crazy just for accumulating wealth and this and that, and they really go mad. That is a thirst, unquenchable thirst. And even if they become the top, the richest, they don't stop there. They again go further and further and further and further. There is no end to it. This is called Asat Trishna, which is actually typically a biggest problem of the Baddha Jivas. What is Baddha Jivas is? Baddha Jiva means, Baddha means bound. Baddha Jivas means bound by Maya. Okay? And this material enjoyment has to really go away. How it will actually go away? How this anartha will go? Very difficult. Then aparata. Then we are actually making so many offenses. We are actually unnecessarily, doing so much of gossip and telling about this and that, and also even the Suddha Bhaktas, we really criticize them. When we criticize them, that's offenses. There are 10 kinds of offenses are there. As we go, we have a separate chapter which really covers about so many aparadas. Okay, aparada means what? It's actually very bad thing that we really do so, which is going to prohibit from our spiritual development, right? Then Hridaya Daurbalya. What is Hridaya Daurbalya? Weakness of the heart. Because we are so weak in devotion. We are so weak in so many ways. And that weakness, if it is there in the heart, then that is going to be actually block in the development of our bhakti towards Krishna. So that weakness has to go away. How your weakness of devotion will really go away? Again, it has to be with association with the pure devotees and by the mercy of Guru, who is really, make sure that you are actually firm in the path. So then that weakness will actually go away. As you progress more and more and more and more in the sadhana, what happens? Then this will eventually go away. So how can we remove our anarthas? These are the 4 anarthas. How can we remove? We have to remove, because if we do not remove, we have no way of getting Krishna. Absolutely no way. All these 4 should be thrown out. But how will you do it? Sadhana and bhajana removes anartha. Sadhana, we do chanting, and there are nine angas of bhakti are there. We really follow all those, and then it actually goes away. And more chanting we do, the more anarthas will vanish. So the thing, illusion about our real identity, thirst for material enjoyment and making offenses and weakness of the heart, everything will go away as we progress and become pure. So now what happens when our anarthas are removed? Desires for bhukti. Bhukti means mukti and bhukti. Mukti means liberation. Bhukti means material enjoyment. So when the anarthas are removed by spiritual progression and association with pure devotees, your desire for material enjoyment vanish. At some stage, you don't really even need to because you will be looking for what is the word minimum that you really need to really survive. Not amassing thing, I have to take care of this, I have to take care of that. There is nothing like that, just minimum. Leave that to the God. Leave that to Krishna. Leave the rest to the Lord. But also what Maya will do, if you have that kind of thirst for material wealth, what happens? He will start draining out, or he will start giving you problem after problem after problem. That is a Maya will do. So more money you may be making, but it may be actually going out somewhere. This is your unfortune actually. So, and we will be progressing in bhakti only by doing sadhana and bhajana. What are the stages that we really progress? Nishtha. Nishtha means first firm faith. Firm faith in what? Firm faith in Guru and Shastras. Because many people even, they start the devotional life, they really have so many doubts. Is the Bhagavad Gita actually made by somebody, just from their mental concoction? Is it actually told by Krishna? They even argue that Krishna, Rama and all the things are actually just mythology. This is very bad. Because unless one has this nishtha, we have no way of spiritual progression. So that is firm faith in Guru. Firm faith, unshakable faith should be there in Guru and Shastra. Otherwise you cannot go to the next step. Right? This is actually basic, very first. Then what happens? The spiritual taste will come. So without the nishtha, the faith, spiritual taste won't come. Because you are limbo, you are actually questioning everything. That is the problem. Right? So ruchi, that is spiritual taste, what is that? Love to chant, love to sing bhajan, love to hear about the Lord and his pastimes. That is the ruchi. Ruchi means taste. You are enjoying. Because if you don't do something spiritual for about Krishna, you will feel that the day is really totally wasted. And you really talk to materialistic people and you're talking all kinds of nonsense, you will feel very sad that no, I did wrong thing. And you won't really feel the satisfaction in your mind. You will feel something is, no, this is not, so this is not of any use. So that is when the ruchi comes. More and more and more and more you will be thinking only about him. Okay? Then asakti, attached to Krishna. This is a transcendental attachment, permanent attachment to Radha Krishna. It is unshakable, exclusive and unshaken. That is asakti. then once you really get that attachment, you will really commit yourself that, oh Krishna, you belong to me and I belong to you. That is it. Done. Very firm. Asakti. And then because you have that attachment, so permanently glued, is eternal. Because you are eternally actually attached to him. But we have forgotten because of the Maya. Now we are actually undoing the thing, coming out of it. And then you come with Rati. Rati means Bhava. That is mellows. You want to weep as you are missing Radha Krishna. How many of you, you just ask yourself, do you really feel that, because we are not seeing Radha Krishna face to face, and it's actually misfortune, how many of you really feel in your heart? When you feel that, oh Krishna, I am missing you, I want you, and you started to cry. You weep and weep and weep. This is our acharyas were chanting. When they chant, they weep. If you read the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas, because he always cries and cries and cries. He just Krishna himself came to us to teach us how a Suddha Bhakta should be. He should be crying. But do we cry? Do we cry for our family? Do we cry for money? We cry for our own benefit. We cry for all the nonsense. So this is far away if you really be like that. So now if this bhava, eventually it really goes and then goes to prema. Prema is something which is really, there is no equivalent word in English. It's just not possible. So anything you do and anything that you think will be only about Radha Krishna. This is the stage of the gopis. Gopis gave everything for the sake of Krishna. They threw out their own husbands, their own relation. They just came out and they were weeping for Krishna. So if we look at here how he arranged the pastime, so that we really we read from the Sastras how these gopis were actually so desperately crying and crying. Even Krishna just went out for a while from the rasa dance. That is the Gopi Gita. So because of their love, that much love, Krishna becomes indebted. Because that is what Krishna said. Oh gopis, all the love that you have for me, I can never repay. I am declaring bankrupt, chapter 11. I am filing for chapter 11. I cannot. This is actually this prema is really a treasure, the ultimate treasure that the Lord has really bestowed to us, which even He doesn't have it. So we may think, why Krishna did not really create us equal to Krishna? He actually created the jivas in a way so that we will develop prema for Him and control Him. That's what the quality, out of the 64 qualities, what the quality number 40, He is controlled by Premi Bhaktas. It's a treasure that He has given to us because we are His children. So any father and mother will actually do all the earn money for what? For the children. The same way. He has given us as the highest treasure, even He does not have. That is why He had to come and then see how a prema is actually through coming a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is such a high stage is prema. This is what we should aspire throughout everything else. Throughout the nonsense. Don't fear. Sarva dharman parityajya sharanam mam ekam. So only me, you say surrender to me. Throw everything out. I will take care of you. But we are thinking that we have to take care of. So the attitude has to change. So many people are actually talking about yogas. Ashtanga yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga. Because Bhagavad Gita is just a stage. It starts with all this karma yoga, then then Ashtanga yoga, then so okay, this is better than that, this is better than that, then Jnana yoga, that is better, and finally he declares that my devotees are the best. Every single chapter at the end he says, my devotees are the best. But people really go, cling to these yogas. Ashtanga yoga. Oh my God, the Kundalini, these, Pratyahara, Yama, Niyama, Vairagya. So all the things, they have nothing to do with Krishna Bhakti. Yogas are not related to pure Bhakti, period. They will take you only to heavenly planets, and at maximum it will give mukti. What kind of mukti? You don't have any direct association with the Lord. No way. You are merging in the Paramatma or the Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, and becomes void. Nothing. This is Sunya. This is not. This is what most of the Hindus actually want. So there are so many, if you see the jivas, they are lost. They do all the, they follow religion. Religion means dharma. So they follow religion for the sake of what? That is the biggest question. To enjoy or to merge in the Brahman. That is exactly what all the Hindus and so many religions are really, actually inclining only to reach that. How rare is the Krishna Bhakta, Sutta Bhakta. Sutta means pure Krishna Bhakta. So we'll find out.
Karmachari matye bhaguta karmanishta koti karma nishta matye ekajnani shreshta koti jnani matye haya ekajana mukta Mukta Mahatye Durlava Eka Krishna Bhakta.
Among the followers of Vedic Dharma, most of them follow the process of karma and karma yoga. Out of millions of such people, there may be one who is actually wise, Jnani. Out of many millions of such wise persons, only one may actually become liberated, mukta. And out of many millions of such liberated persons, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is very rarely found.
Karmachari matye bhaguta karmanishta koti karma nishta matye ekajnani shreshta koti jnani matye haya ekajana mukta koti mukta matye durlava eka Krishna Bhakta.
So who can be a Suddha Bhakta? Becoming a Krishna Bhakta is not easy. Even demigods don't have Krishna Bhakti. But then the question comes, who can be a Suddha Bhakta? Is there any qualification? What is the qualification? I am a Grihastha, I am a family man. Can I become a Suddha Bhakta? Suddha means pure devotion, pure devotee of Krishna. And should I become a sannyasi to really get Krishna Bhakti? Or I have to be really born as a Brahmana to get Krishna Bhakti? Or I am a Chandala, I am eating meat, I am actually killing souls, doing so many these things, but I need Krishna. Can I have it? I am so rich. Can I become a Krishna Bhakta? Or I am very poor. Can I become a Krishna Bhakta? So answer is, it does not matter. You can be a Grihastha, you can be a sannyasi, you can be a Brahmana, you can be a Chandala, or you can be rich, or you can be pure. But this is not the approach of some of the sampradayas. They say that you have to be born as a Brahmana or in a Vaishnava family or something, because especially some, some of the sampradayas, they say no, all those who are actually low caste, they will be given some chance later to be really born, and then only they can go to Krishna. No way. Say no to that sampradaya. I know which sampradayas I am actually meaning. No. That has nothing to do with that. It is all how you are crying. How you really put yourself and take a shelter and then proceed with the help of the Guru to really push you up and up and up. Doesn't matter what you are. This very same Jaiva Dharma which we are reading is actually written by a Grahastha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was actually Grahastha. Then at the end, then as it should be, then he really renounced the Grahastha life and then became a mendicant. So it really doesn't matter where you are. Don't worry. You don't have to do anything except you surrender to a Guru and you really start into this Krishna Bhakta. So Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Sutra Kena Naya, Ye Krishna Tattva Veta, say Guru Khaya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya. Whether one is a Brahmana, a sannyasi, or a Sutra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. Many people think, oh yeah, he's not a Brahmin, so I don't want to really take from him. No, it doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with now. Because still, even, many sampradayas, they are very strict. So when does a bhakta get, now, being said, we have to talk something about how the, bhakta actually gets free from Maya. There are two ways. Sadhana bhakti, that means, you really do a lot of sadhana. You are so much of rules and regulations that you really start following. You have to follow. You have to chant this many rounds. Every day morning you have to do these and the Sandhya Vandana, these and that, and then you have to have a deity worship, and then wake them up and then feed them and then say seva. All the things are sadhana bhakti. Then Bhava bhakti is different, because when you do the sadhana bhakti, you really slowly you will start get freeing up from Maya. Maya's influence will actually go away slowly. When Bhava bhakti means when you are actually weeping, you are crying to him. You are desperate. As if you are actually, suppose you are really immersed in a river by somebody by force. You are actually inside. He really dipped your head inside. How will you feel to really get a breathing? Just one breath. You will be desperate. Do you feel like that? Because you are not seeing Krishna. That is Bhava Bhakti. You cry. You cry. You don't want food. You don't want to eat. You want only Krishna. No one else, nothing else. That is when one gets out. So there is a sloka also. Then, because so many people, so many jivas, they really want to merge in the Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. But there is a sloka that is saying, Srimad Bhagavatam, O Madhava, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of the Goddess of Fortune. If devotees completely in love with you sometimes fall from the path of devotion, they do not fall like non-devotees. Even if you fall, you still will actually come up. But they who really try to merge in Brahman, he will fall down. At some time he will fall down. So the Brahma Jyoti merging is not actually even permanent. So we have to take up to Krishna Bhakti by doing our sadhanas and bhajana. So what is the sadhana? What is the sadhana? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. This is what the 9 angas of bhakti. Hearing about the Lord, chanting his holy names, remembering about him all the time, serving his lotus feet as worshipping deity, right? And worshipping wherever all the temple, wherever it is, you are always worshipping, offering prayers and being a servant and being dear, and finally you give your soul to him. That is it. And when a soul gets liberated, there are two kinds of liberation. Because there are a lot of liberated souls, right? What we are talking about is somebody who has fallen down in the material world, and now they are actually trying to really get out of it from the Maya. That's different. But whatever it is, whether that one, and also there's another kind of liberated jiva who actually never came down at all, because they never came down from Mahavishnu. So they are Nitya Mukta. Nitya means permanently. Permanently they are liberated, Nitya Mukta. But they never have seen the material world. They have never seen the Maya at all. They are completely free. But the second case is the Baddha Mukta. Baddha Mukta means Baddha Jivas. What is Baddha Jivas? Fallen souls who are really wanted to enjoy, and they are here in the material world. They are the Baddha Jivas, and eventually by the grace of Guru and Krishna, they became Mukta. They are called Baddha Mukta. So fallen and then went back. Okay, so one is they were never fallen, and the other one is fallen and then they really went back. Okay, so these are Nitya Mukta and the Baddha Mukta. Okay, so Nitya Mukta, I said, never came to the material worlds at all, eternally serving the Lord. Baddha Mukta, those who fell down to the material worlds, but with the help of pure devotees and Guru, they did sadhana and eventually got liberated and reaching the spiritual world. Now let us look at the Nitya Mukta. Who is Nitya Mukta? Nitya Mukta also, they did not come from Mahavishnu. Okay, they came from Mula Sankarshana or Jivas from Balaram. Okay, I really put the slide a long time back, some weeks back. So in the Nitya Mukta, they are permanently there in the spiritual world. They never fell down. There are two categories. Aishwarya Kata. So those who really attracted by the Aishwarya, that means the opulence of the Lord. So where will they go? They will go to Narayana. Narayana is actually the Lord of majesty and opulence. So those who really got attracted, they will be under Narayana, and they came from Mula Sankarshana, not from Balaram. So those jivas who really came from Balaram, they are Madhurya Kata. They really enjoy the sweetness of the Lord. Okay, so they will be with Krishna in the Goloka Vrindavan. This is what actually decides your future, your mindset, your goal, your destiny. Everything is decided by these two things, where you get your attraction. So the thing is, so here the important point is, these jiva which we are talking about, Nitya Mukta, never came from Mahavishnu. They came from Mula Sankarshana, they went to Narayana, and came from Balaram, they went to Krishna. So what happens, what about us? We, who really came from Mahavishnu? We also have, of course we are actually Baddha Jivas now, but when we get liberated, we will be called Baddha Mukta Jivas. Mukta means liberation. Alright. So there are three kinds. Aishwarya Kata, again the same thing. Because here also if you see the Jivas, they are really so attracted to Lord Narayana. They think Lord Narayana is everything, and then Krishna even came from him. So this is their ulta logic. Because they are controlled by the Aishwarya Kata. So those who are controlled by Aishwarya Kata, that's how their attraction will be. They will be, invariably they will be attracted without even they really know. Their destiny will actually take only to that side. That is, they will go to Vaikunta. Then those who really have Madhurya Kata, they really love to associate with our Gaudiya line, for example. They are all in the Madhurya Kata. So they belong to Lord Krishna. Radha Krishna, in fact, specifically. And in fact, our Sampradaya say in so much, and we give more importance to Radharani than even to Krishna. But the point is, this is the sweetness. We don't care about how majestic. No, we don't keep distance with Krishna. Whereas you really have lot of distance with Krishna. You cannot, you give so much of respect. And you are the protector, you are everything for, the caretaker, you are everything, you are your father, mother, everything you do. No, Krishna not like that. You are equal level. All the gopis, They even scold Krishna. Can you scold Lord Narayana just for the sake of affection? I cannot say that. But you can do with the Lord Krishna. He is sweetness. He is the Lord of the Lord, the real Lord. Love, God of love. But then on the other hand, you have the third category, which is the worst category, which is basically the Hindus. They want to merge in Brahman. Brahma Jyoti Katha. They think, yeah, you can worship anyone, all the Panjobasana, all Durga Devi, Ganesh, this, Lord Shiva, that. You worship everything, and then finally you all go into the Brahman. No problem. They are all good demigods. Those worship, there's no problem at all. Absolutely, they also take care of well. But the thing is, that destination where you really go, that the Brahman is the lowest compared to all the others. Do you understand? Brahma Jyoti Katha. Merge in Brahman. Now the last one is destination of devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Wow. There is a question comes there. So what happens if I really have, if I worship Lord Chaitanya? But there are three categories. Do you worship the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to get devotion to Radha Krishna? Then you will go to Goloka. Are you actually attracted to Chaitanya only? I want to be just with Lord Chaitanya. I want to serve him. Then you will go to Swetadvipa, which is also part of the part of the Goloka. Actually, there is a Swetadvipa. If you really look closely that this picture, I don't know how clarity that it is. You will see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes also going just back of Krishna. You will see it's there. That is a Swetadvipa. Okay, they will go to Swetadvipa because they are only attracted to Lord Chaitanya. There are a lot of devotees. Then some case where they are attracted to both. I want Radha Krishna and I also want Lord Chaitanya. Most of the cases are like that. What will happen to them? When they get liberated, what happens is that Jiva divides into two. One goes to Swetadvipa to be with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the other one is in Goloka, which is actually, so the soul divides into two. And in fact, because I heard that many, about our own Gurudev really have two forms. One is he is actually serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and other one as Ramana Manjari, he is actually serving Radha Krishna Yugala. So in fact, in the same this Jaiva Dharma what we read, long time back, there was a instance about Babaji about Ramana Manjari. Okay, that Ramana Manjari is actually the identity of our own Gurudev. Okay, so now we are going to end, and to end, we want to sing a bhajan. So Yashika, I just will be singing a bhajan called Karmuhil Varna Kanna.
Karmuhil Varna Kanna Ganagopir Konjum Ramana Nerum Vingulganadin Yellai Viruru Devanam Yenakillai Karmuhil Varna Kanna Karmuhil Varna Kanna Ganagopir Konjum Ramana Nerum Vingulganadin Yellai Viruru Devanam Yenakillai Karmuhil Varna Kanna Aanirai meekum Kanna Ni Ananda Gokulamanna Arungopir Nenjangal Pongum Ananda Geedangal Yengum Aanirai meekum Kanna Aanirai meekum Kanna Ni Ananda Gokulamanna Arungopir Nenjangal Pongum Ananda Geedangal Yengum Aanirai கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா கனகோபியர் கொஞ்சும் ரமணா நெரும் வேங்குழல் கானத்தின் எல்லை வேறொரு தேவனம் எனக்கில்லை கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா மரகத மாணிக்க மதனா மனமோகன காந்த வதனா வனமாலையின் சோபனலோலம் மன பொங்கும் ஆனந்த லீலம் மரகத மாணிக்க மதனா மரகத மாணிக்க மதனா மனமோகன காந்த வதனா வனமாலையின் சோபனலோலம் மன பொங்கும் ஆனந்த லீலம் மரகத மாணிக்க மதனா கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா கனகோபியர் கொஞ்சும் ரமணா நெரும் வேங்குழல் கானத்தின் எல்லை வேறொரு தேவனம் எனக்கில்லை கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா கனகோபியர் கொஞ்சும் ரமணா நெரும் வேங்குழல் கானத்தின் எல்லை வேறொரு தேவனம் எனக்கில்லை கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா கார்முகில் வண்ணா கண்ணா
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।